Hey, welcome guys to Retro Media Talk. Today we have Steve Lago on the line, and it's just me, Steve Montgomery, and we're going to be talking about a 1988 classic. I know I say that a lot, don't I?
Yeah,
everything's a classic.
Well, I mean, obviously, in our minds, we're not going to discuss anything we don't consider a classic.
Yeah, so, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Okay, but it is a cult classic now. Of course,
yes,
cult classic. But from one of my favorite directors, John Carpenter, and it is called They Live.
They Live.
Now, it's one of those movies that kind of really takes the veil off certain things. I think it's an important film to cover. Not only that for me, it's just got a great kind of exposure to what happens behind the scenes and who controls the narrative. But it also it's a fun movie, and it stars Roddy Piper, one of the probably the most infamous villains in WWF history, right?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely one of the legendary from the heyday of WWF, with the Hulk Hogan, the beginnings of WrestleMania, Mr. T. Remember him and Mr. T box at WrestleMania 1?
Yes. I mean, that was when I was into wrestling as a kid, when he would come out in his kilt and
right.
And he was just he was awesome. I really liked him. Even though he was a villain, I really liked him.
Yeah, I didn't mind him, actually. As a kid, usually whenever a villain would be threatening Hulk Hogan, I hated him.
I know.
Him, I mean?
I did too.
But yeah, there was something about Roddy Piper because he was so outlandish, and he would start going on his rants, and his face would turn red, and 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 slobbering all over the place, and he was an interesting character, definitely an iconic wrestler, and one of the guys, unfortunately, that died way too soon.
Yeah, he did. And he died in his sleep, mysteriously, didn't he? Or was it...
I don't know the details of his death, honestly. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been quite a while now.
I think they ruled it as cardiac arrest or something, but...
Well, he was so high-strung, it doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Yeah. He was only 61, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was young. I think physically, he did have a lot of joint and problems and stuff like that. I know he'd had like a steel hip replacement or titanium. He had a bunch of injuries, which all those guys did from that era. But I think he was pretty healthy. Just one of those things.
Yeah, because wrestling back in the day, it was brutal. I mean, they really did do a lot of damage. And then later on, I think it became more controlled in a way that to prevent injuries. As far as what I've read, I don't know if that's I think accurate.
I think back when WWF became famous, back with Hulkamania, that whole era, I think they were starting to slowly transition out of everybody getting busted open and bleeding all over the place, and it kind of got a little bit softer, I think, and then in the 90s it started getting a little bit more graphic again. You see it now. It's a lot more extreme. I mean, people are jumping off, 40-foot steel cage. You weren't going to see Hulk Hogan or Roddy Piper doing that. So I don't know. But either way, back then those guys were 300 days on the road. You know what I mean? They had 300 shows.
Yeah.
Out of 365 days, getting thrown down on that mat, and so yeah, they took a beating. So. I'm sure Roddy, when he got offered, hey, let's do a movie. That was probably a great transition for him. I know, and I don't even really know how many movies he did. But
I don't know. I don't either. Because I mean the only movie I can remember is They Live, but I guess he probably did do maybe something else. I don't know. That's a good point. Because I mean, for his first film, I mean, if he did multiple films, I guess we should look that up. But for his first film, he did a great job. For having no, I mean, obviously he's a wrestler, so he is some sort of actor. You got to act the part. So I guess you could say he's an actor. But there was a rumor back in the '80s that once WWF came into its prominence, and I say it's totally rumor. I can't verify or whatever if it's true, but somebody told me that those guys had to become members of the Screen Actors Guild. Whether that's true or not, oh really? Huh?
Remains to be seen. Would make sense. I mean, they're performing on TV, right? So I don't know. But then again, and it's scripted, they're performing, so I don't know. Maybe not. But I mean, it looks like he was in a TV series. He was in Zorro in 1991.
Oh, okay.
He was, he made TV appearances. He was in the Superboy TV series. So he did some acting here and there. He was in the Highlander TV series, which I don't remember that, and I'm a pretty huge fan of that series. But yeah, he made a few movies: Jungle Ground, The Misery Brothers, Marked Man, Terminal Rush. So sounds like direct to video, kind of things. But
okay,
I'm sure and I'd have to look, but I'm sure he had to have been on Thunder in Paradise, right? Remember that show?
Oh, what was that?
That was Hulk Hogan's show. Remember, he was on like a boat or something.
Yes.
All the wrestlers made appearances on there.
Yeah.
And I think him and Piper were friends, so I'm sure he probably made an appearance on there.
I remember watching wrestling back in the day. What was the wrestling? There was one that wasn't WWF. It was another one, but it was totally extreme. They would take razor blades out and cut themselves. They were just bloodied head to foot.
Yeah, that was back in the '90s. That was that independent federation, ECW.
I think wasn't it in the '80s though? Because I remember watching it when I was young. It was just crazy bloody.
Well, that was probably just the old NWA.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Like all those guys, that they had those big, gross scar tissue foreheads from cutting themselves with razor blades every match.
I'm sure they cracked down later with all the bloodborne pathogen diseases going.
Well, I think a lot of it ended with the whole AIDS thing back in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. I mean? Yeah, that'd be dangerous. Yeah, they probably had to get tested before a match or something. But anyway, with They Live, as far as the score goes, it's got that cool bass line, and it's a mixture between blues and a little like a Western feel. Carpenter kind of improvised that whole thing.
I think we should give everybody that probably hasn't seen this movie just a brief, synopsis.
Yeah. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I found a little short one that I think pretty much encompasses the movie. It's so the movie's about. They don't tell you his name actually in the whole movie.
It's Nada.
It's Nada. Yeah. I guess that's his last name. They don't ever say his name, but it's listed in the credits. But the movie's about Nada, a down on his luck construction worker that discovers a pair of special sunglasses. Wearing them, he is able to see the world as it really is. People being bombarded by media and government with messages like stay asleep, no imagination, submit to authority. Even scarier is that he's able to see that some usually normal-looking people are in fact some kind of alien in charge of this massive campaign to keep humans subdued.
Yes. The one thing I love about this movie is seeing it again as opposed to seeing it back then. It seems more real than ever because being bombarded with all this technology like cell phones and everything else, it seems like we're more asleep than ever, and we're more bombarded with propaganda than ever before. And the signal that shoots out to blind humans from seeing the real aliens that have taken over the world. It's like the signals all around us, this cell towers, the 5G, everything is just bombarding us 24/7. And then back then in 88, man, it was like, it was just, it was more clean. But now it's like every corner, every block, you see a cell tower. So I don't know, man. I mean, to me, when I go down the rabbit hole, I'm thinking, holy cow, man, it's pretty visionary to say they want you asleep. And some of the words that you said, no imagination, it was one of them. Some of the other ones were no independent thought, do not question authority.
Don't question the science either.
Don't question science. Don't question anything, because we are the news media, and we will tell you how to think, how to feel, and how to act.
Right.
And then some of the other quotes were watch TV, submit, obviously sleep, obey. Oh, I said that right. Conform, and then one was marry and reproduce, which is no longer valid today.
Right, they don't want you to do that.
But as far as an alien standpoint, I can see why they would want to reproduce with the humans to have little alien babies, I guess. But so it's pretty relevant. This, since this movie came out in '88, and we're looking at 2022, all these things factor in today.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the guy that wrote the story, I don't know when he wrote the story, but I mean, it was a pretty. He had some foresight, I guess, into what was to come. Because like I said, there was messages, in the movie on billboards and different things. Almost like we see like animated billboards and stuff now. So I mean, he had some foresight. I mean, but then again, the government's been using these type of campaigns on people since like the 50s, Operation Mockingbird and all that kind of stuff. So,
40s, 50s, yeah, exactly, dude.
I mean, you think about when this movie was made in the 80s. I mean, the only media that people really had was the nightly news, right? I mean, that's, and of course, maybe they would inject certain things into television programs and movies, but not really too much back in the 80s. But it was mostly all the propaganda was coming from the nightly news, from people like Dan Rather and
different things
and that kind of stuff.
And then you had the newspapers, because everybody read the newspapers, and they're all, full of the same scripting, because you have. Right now, presently, I guess, there's 6 corporations that own 90% of the news media. That's corporations that own the news media. I mean, 6 corporations, that's not much, No. They own 90%, so they're going to tell you whatever they want you to know, or what you to hear, or whatever, and you're constantly under this type of mind control from news media, because if you go to one channel, you go to the other channel, you go to the other channel, they're all kind of repeating themselves, making sure that you got the narrative that they want you to know about. And don't question it, because questioning it is not allowed anymore. You can't question it.
Yeah.
So, as far as being awake and knowing how propaganda works in movies, TV, and the news.
I think this movie was kind of like, the book was kind of a warning, and the movie kind of puts, they kind of weigh in on it a little bit, but they also make it, like an action thriller type movie. But yeah, there's definitely a message in there.
Yeah,
and the message is that there's always somebody behind the curtain,
right.
Trying to pull the strings of society. And They did it back in the 50s in movie theaters with intermissions and flicker rates. You ever hear that? And
flicker rates, yep.
To kind of like hypnotize you into buying products. So it's going on today. It was going on back in the 50s, and I mean, really, and it works. It works on a vast majority of the population.
Well, you remember Coke and like some other products? They did it on popcorn in 1957, I think it started, where they would flash real quickly thing of, drink Coca-Cola or something, eat popcorn. And it would be so fast that your eyes didn't see it, but your mind would pick it up. And then they increased Coke sales in theaters by like 18%, and then the popcorn went through the roof like 57% with these subliminal messages. And that was back then. So what do they have now?
Oh yeah, I mean the technology now. So it's it's not even the technology, but when you're on social media and stuff, I mean they have bots. They have bots, right, that do the steering and to go to certain places and see certain things, and I mean it's pretty crazy, But like I said, what's crazier is that there's some people that are just so oblivious to the fact that they're being steered a certain way.
Hey guys, do you want the ultimate iodine supplement? How about liquid B12? How about liquid turmeric in a herbal cold-pressed tincture, never heated? The ultimate in detoxification. Pure, powerful, and potent liquid formulas in a raw herbal extract. Totally organic. Use our special coupon code HEALTHYLIFE at checkout at globalhealingorganics.com. Use coupon code HEALTHYLIFE. Have you ever had this happen, man? Your cell phone's, sitting around you or whatever. You did not do a search for anything.
Oh, it happens all the time, dude. I know what you're going to say.
And you're talking about something, and all of a sudden you get an ad for it.
Yep. Yeah, that happens because
it happens to me all the time.
A certain person said years ago that it's always listening.
Always listening.
They said really the only way to not have it listen is to basically take your battery out or put it in some kind of like Faraday pouch because it's continually on.
Yeah, it's amazing. By the way, full disclosure, I do have an Alexa device, and I said I'd never get one. But the best thing I can suggest to people, if you like it, because it does make it for a great Bluetooth speaker, and it's nice to play music through Amazon, I would just unplug it after use, because you don't want to leave that thing unplugged or plugged. Did I say unplugged? You don't want to leave that thing plugged in,
right?
Because it does gather information.
I have so many friends and family that use those devices, and it's tempting because it's so convenient, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Alexa do this, Alexa do that, but it's like I will never, unless they make it so that you have to purchase any kind of electronic product.
Yeah,
I will never have a smart device like that. Never.
Yeah. The only good thing about it is you can tell the Alexa device to play retro media talk.
Yeah. That's not worth it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. I just unplug it. But yeah, it's always listening either way. I mean, whether you're listening to music, it's still listening. It has to listen. It has to listen all the time because you have to tell her something. So she's always listening.
Right.
Yeah. And that damn thing listens. I mean, it can pick up far away. I can be in another room and say it like at not a high volume, and that thing hears me. So I don't know what kind of listening, like whatever, are in there, but they're freaking powerful. I'm aware to the fact that she's listening. I'm aware to the fact that it's collecting information. But then again, I'm kind of screwed. It's a double-edged sword because you got to have a cell phone now to do anything, and that thing's doing the same damn thing. So it's, it's a double-edged sword, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really serious about it, I have 3 or 4 of them. I have a privacy pouch and just slide it in there.
I do have a privacy pouch too.
I rarely use it just because I forget to.
The problem is you can't get calls.
Well, honestly, I don't take any calls from anybody.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
No. If anything, unless I'm expecting to talk to somebody,
That's why I can't never get a hold of you.
Yeah, I don't answer the phone ever. If because normally I don't have the phone near me.
Yeah.
And so if somebody did call, I wouldn't be able to pick it up anyhow. And then I'll see somebody called, and if I recognize the number, maybe I'll call them back or whatever. But yeah, I never answer calls, so I don't really care. And if somebody text messages me, I'm usually waiting for a text. I'm usually waiting for a call. You know what I mean? So anything else is not really that important. So I don't really care.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough, man. I like that. Jim Morrison, back in the day, the lead singer of The Doors, said, "Whoever controls the media controls the mind." I think that was a pretty good statement.
Well, yeah, Jim Morrison, he was a pretty smart guy. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just so it's true though. So you got 6 corporations that control the media, 90%. I mean, that's a huge number. So they control people's minds, and you can see it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest. We won't get too political here or whatever, but
brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, but I think the biggest mind control experiment on mankind that in my lifetime has been COVID, by far.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they told you to wear a mask. You wore the mask. They told you to do this. Now, the only time I wore a mask was when I had to get into a store. But the brainwashing and the scare tactics that the media pulled, I mean, it's still affecting people out there today. They're still masked up. They're still scared as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And, that is a prime example of they live.
For sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it was all coordinated across all of the platforms. They had people in charge of suppressing information that didn't go along with the story, and yeah, I mean, you think of the very first shots of the media. Remember when COVID first came out, right? Scenes from China. Remember, people were like twitching on the ground and foaming at the mouth. That was the start of the brainwashing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, it was definitely the biggest mind control experiment on people.
Yeah.
And it's all coming out now that most of it was a farce.
Hey guys, do you like Star Wars, Funko, Marvel Legends, McFarlane toys, Legos? Then I got a special coupon code to save 10% over at Entertainment Earth. Use my special coupon code CRAZETV with a K, KRAZETV, to get 10% off at entertainmentearth.com. entertainmentearth.com with coupon code CRAZETV with a K to save 10%. So how did you like the movie when you watched it recently here?
It would.
I know you hate that question, probably.
No,
you're like, oh, you.
I enjoyed seeing it again, especially on Blu-ray. I haven't seen.
It did look good on Blu-ray, didn't it?
Yeah, I hadn't probably seen it since the early '90s.
Yeah.
Probably my guess is. So I'd forgotten some of the scenes and stuff like that, but it was definitely a John Carpenter film. It was definitely a lower budget film. I mean, a good story carries a movie. You know what I mean? So it was a good story, but some of the acting, some of the special effects, not so great. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
You don't like the aliens special effects on that?
I mean, I guess it's kind of a unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like. Well, I'm always a huge fan of movies that are like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I just love movies like that where they're like either clones or you don't know who they are. You don't know, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers is more creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, there was never any point where, Body Snatchers was kind of scary.
Yeah.
This wasn't so scary as
it
wasn't scary at all.
No.
But he's coming down the street, and the guy's talking to his watch. He can see us, that kind of thing. And
I got one that can see that. Remember that lady in the store?
Yeah.
And they, dude, we got to go over some of the best lines though. But remember that one lady that was outside the building looking in the reflection doing her hair, and he said, that's like pouring perfume on a pig.
Yeah.
That cracked me up. But he said something, that lady in the store, I don't know, it's like something about her being ugly and blah, 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 because he could see her as she really was with the sunglasses on. And he had just discovered who these people were, these aliens were. We got to talk about the best line in the movie, or the most famous line that got into the movie, and it was written by Rowdy through some notes he had made. He gave to John Carpenter, because in wrestling, he would always call people names and have to come up with lines and blah, blah, blah. And one of the lines was, "I'm all out of bubble gum," or I forget what the actual line said, but it was similar to this. And
he said, "I've come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum."
Yes, and that was like, I guess that was taken from his notes in wrestling or whatever, and John Carpenter said, "Oh man, that's a classic line." One of the other lines was, "Mama don't like no tattletales."
Yeah.
That was funny. One thing that they put in that movie that was kind of cool is the drone that was following you around, when you could see with the glasses.
Yes.
That was kind of that was foretelling, the drones that are spying on you, and that was cool. One of the other lines I love, of course, we got to talk about the longest fight scene, I think, in history. Frank, what's his name?
Frank, right? Wasn't it Frank?
Yeah.
David Keith.
You think the fight is over like 4 times, and it just keeps going. And all he wants him to do is put the damn glasses on.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It just kept going. And
he's like,
oh my God.
Put the damn glasses on.
It's like, just put the glasses on. I mean, they beat the hell out of each other over these freaking glasses, and it just goes on forever.
It wasn't a really good fight, though. You know what I mean? Not compared to today's movie fights, I guess.
No,
you know what I mean?
No. It was really good choreographed, I guess, because this I forget, he's a big fight choreographer, choreographed the fight, But for those days, it was good. But yeah, it's a little dated now.
Yeah, it says the fight sequence was designed, rehearsed, and choreographed in the backyard of John Carpenter's production office. The fight between Nada and Frank was only supposed to last 20 seconds, but Piper and David decided to fight it out for real, only faking the hits to the face and groin. They rehearsed the fight for 3 weeks. So Carpenter was so impressed he kept the scene intact, which runs 5 minutes, 20 seconds.
Okay, so almost 6 minutes then. Jeez. That's a long fight, dude. That probably is one of the longest fights.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, actually.
I mean, watching this movie again, I was just like, I forgot how long that fight was. I'm like, they're still going. They're still going. It's like, oh my gosh. I don't know if we should give away the ending. People haven't seen it, but we'll just give the synopsis of, okay, so there's a satellite dish. Basically, it goes out, spreads the signal that blinds people from seeing aliens around them. So basically, you got to stop the signal. If you stop the signal, then everybody can see the aliens without the sunglasses, because the only way to see the aliens are with the sunglasses. When people do see the aliens, one of my favorite endings is in this movie. Okay, so there was like no nudity throughout the whole movie, or nothing really bad except a couple f bombs or something. But the very end scene, that chick, her tits are out. She's riding that dude, and then she looks down, sees he's an alien because the signal's been broken, and he goes, "What's wrong, baby?" And then it ends.
Yeah,
that was just so classic, But there was one thing, I don't know if you caught it, when the aliens, were on there, and there's too much sex and violence in movies, and George Romero and John Carpenter gotta show some restraint. I don't know if you caught that. It was funny though.
I didn't see that actually.
I guess I did give away the ending, but
he dies at the end. Roddy dies at the end.
Yeah, might as well give the damn ending. If you haven't seen the movie, sorry, man, but you got to see it. Even though we just gave away the ending, but I assume most people listening to the podcast probably have seen the movie.
Yeah, so I would imagine. I mean, the rundown is that he meets a chick, that he hides with her, and then she takes him to meet the underground people that are trying to fight. They're trying to, they're aware and they want to shut down the signal, and they tell him where the signal's being transmitted. Then it ends up the woman that was helping him was working with the aliens, and Roddy. Does Roddy kill her, or does she just get killed?
No, he shoots her.
Yeah, that's right.
The one scene where they walk into that dinner party or whatever, and that guy kind of like, "Hey, boys, how you doing?"
Yeah, yeah.
He should have dressed up for the part, for the party.
Yeah.
And then they convince him to
show him around,
give him the tour, whatever. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But
and that guy that was that was showing him around. I mean, that guy, he always played that type of a character. He's been in a ton of movies. I'd have to look up and see what his name was, but he's been in a ton of things. And he always plays some schlub like that.
Yeah, but his line, I love his line in the the last scene before he uses that watch to transport. Sorry, boys, or whatever, he vanishes, right?
Right.
Their little transport technology or whatever. But he says, everybody sells out every day. Might as well be on the winning team or something like that. Before he leaves, I was like, oh, that's a good line. Because you see that every day.
I was going to say that's how people feel nowadays.
Yep.
The country can be imploding, and people are like, well, hey, I mean, as long as I'm on the side that's not imploding.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that, as usual, that once their usefulness is done, they'll be a loser like everybody else.
Exactly.
It would be interesting, right, if like this movie was re-released, or if this movie debuted today, right?
Oh my gosh!
That you would have a theater full of people, and half the people would see this movie a certain way, and another half would see it another way, right?
Yeah, right. For me, I don't know about you, dude, but I love movies. But whenever I watch a movie, I can pick out the propaganda every damn time. I look for it. So if you look for it, or if you catch it, because I talk to so many people, it's like, did you catch this? Did you catch that? No. Well, they're asleep.
Yeah.
We're awake. We can see. We don't need the sunglasses. We can see what's targeting. So I think if you're aware of what's targeting at you, even though it's a good movie and there might be some messages that are like, oh, I see where you're going with this. I mean, you're aware of it, so you can't get programmed. Like other people can get programmed very easily.
Yeah. I was thinking this movie kind of had the same feel as, and I can't think of the movie now. I want to say it was like a kind of a dystopian type movie, and the guy had to go somewhere and get new eyeballs because in order to get to places you had to have there was retina scans. But I remember I want to say it was Minority Report.
Oh, I love Minority Report. Yeah,
I might have a movie or two
think that
mixed
is
together.
Yeah, but that is a very good movie.
But when I remember he's walking down the street and there's like screens and same thing. They're kind of like there's kind of like propaganda, all
around.
Pumping out.
Yeah. And that's pre-crime. It's like today, like they're trying to put you as a criminal because you searched for something or you thought, it's almost like thought crime. You can't look or research anything, but they might put you in that box already, like, oh, he's going to do something. He did a search for this. But yeah, Minority Report is a very eye-opening film too, in that regards.
Yeah, I was looking up a little bit of a trivia about this movie. That John Carpenter, he was so impressed with David Keith's performance in The Thing that he ended up writing the role specifically for him.
Yeah.
And also he wrote the movie originally planning on putting Kurt Russell as the main character.
That's what I was wondering, dude.
But he felt like after he had Russell in his past 4 films, that he should go with somebody else. Because he did he did the Elvis movie, the made-for-TV movie, Escape from New York, The Thing, and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, and that was that Big Trouble in Little China came before this one, and I guess the sunglasses were from that movie.
Oh,
they had a bunch of them or whatever, and they carried them over to this movie or something.
Well, that's good. At least they were being economical.
Yeah, and I guess the homeless camp in the beginning was a real homeless camp.
Yeah, they made it, I guess. They shipped in homeless people, I had read, and to shoot those scenes. And
I thought it was a real homeless camp, is what I read.
They did. There was a special feature thing about it. I don't know if you watched it.
Oh, okay.
And
maybe I missed that.
Yeah, he rounded up. No, he rounded up homeless people
and paid them
and fed them.
Yeah.
And
okay, that's what it was then.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another little bit of trivia. It says that Carpenter and Roddy Piper both said they had a problem with authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it said Carpenter said since he was a kid he hated authority, and he said he's never gotten over it since he was a kid. And Roddy Piper said, a quote, "Ask me for my shirt off my back and I'll give it to you. If you tell me to give me your shirt," he's like, "there's not a chance."
Yeah, dude, and maybe that's why we think the way we think, because we question authority.
Yeah, I hate authority.
I hate authority too. I do too.
And it's, I guess what it is, it's not the problem with authority, because in society there has to be authority.
Right.
But usually when you experience the people in authority, they're idiots. That's
the problem. That's the problem.
They don't have any skills. They're useless. No. They're just like, they're just morons. That's why I was in the military, right? And so I was in the Marine Corps. I loved the Marine Corps. I loved it.
Yeah.
I have lifelong friends I still talk to. I love the Marine Corps, but the people in charge, morons, right?
It's always morons.
And so like, when I was in there, I mean, whatever they told me that I couldn't do, I just did it despite them.
Yeah.
When we go into a foreign country and they're like, "Hey, these places are off limits." As soon as they let me loose for my free time, I'd get in the cab and I'd say, take me here, or take me there. Wherever they told me not to go, I went. Whatever they told me not to do, I did it. And just because I'm not going to listen to you, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I have a good boss, that doesn't like demean me, or really respectful, it's like,
right.
Hey man, we can just be on a friend level here. I'll do exactly what I need to do, right? With no questions asked.
few more things about They Live.
Yeah.
It opened up number 1 at the box office the week it came out. Yeah.
Oh. What was it against?
I'll have to look that up.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
but originally it was scheduled to be released on October 21st. The film was moved to November 4th to avoid competition with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Oh, are you serious? Jeez.
And prior to that, the first 3 movies, Halloween movies, were directed and produced and written and all that kind of stuff by Carpenter. Halloween 4 was the first time he wasn't involved in the Halloween franchise. So they didn't want that to compete with him. And they also wanted to capitalize on the November 8th presidential election due to the film's social commentary.
Oh, that's what. I think the Blu-ray just really, the way they cleaned that film up, like if you watched it on an old version of DVD, this was a very good representation of the film, and I think it brought a whole new level of experience to it.
Yeah, it was very like bright and clean. Like it looked like it looked like it was maybe very recent movie as far as like the look of it. So yeah, no, it was a good clean print. Yeah, it looked really good. The sound was really good as well.
Sound was good. Yeah.
I was never. Years ago when Blu-ray came out, maybe because the TVs hadn't really caught up.
Yeah.
But I was totally like uninvested in the whole Blu-ray thing. I'm like, the DVD looks just as good. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to spend money now for movies that I already have to get this. But shifting gears to another release, that $6 Million Man box set. It is so clear.
Oh,
it is so crisp. I mean, you can see the hairs on people's head. I mean, it's just so crisp and clean. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How Blu-ray can just improve how a show or TV or a movie looks. Blows my mind.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love that $6 Million Man on Blu-ray. But I haven't seen it on DVD, so you just confirmed that it looks light years away than the DVD?
There's no question. I mean, and DVD version, when it came out, the Time Life set, I mean, compared to the syndicated stuff they were showing on like Sci-Fi, the DVD looked great, because they cleaned it up, you know what I mean, and put it on DVD. But it's night and day difference between DVD and Blu-ray. So I mean, it's so crisp, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I wish they would have done that to the Incredible Hulk. I wish they would have took the time to do what they did with $6 Million Man to the Incredible Hulk.
And when you figure they would have, because it's a Marvel property, and Marvel Disney has got so much money, and they try to milk every ounce of money they can out of it. I mean, you figure they would just go ahead and do it, because there's a huge following for the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno TV series.
Yeah.
Huge.
I stated that there were 6 corporations that own 90% of the media. Maybe I should list them. It's Comcast, NBC Universal, Disney, CBS, Viacom, News Corporation, and AT&T. So there you go. 6. Big 6. So bottom line is that's your big 6 right there.
Yeah.
Big 6. Control 90% of the news and information. And if you are an independent news channel that goes against the narrative, you get shut down. You get censored. You get deleted.
Yep.
So there you go. Maybe people that have never seen They Live might want to check it out. It might open your mind to what messages are being thrown at you on a daily basis, and what keeps you distracted, keeps you asleep, keeps you not having independent thought, because that's basically how to control a mass population is take away their independent thought. Anyway, something to think about. I gotta say something about this other line that I loved in the movie that I forgot. After the fight they had, there was a line, and it's Roddy Piper goes, "Life's a bitch. She's back in heat." That is, I don't know. I like that almost better than the chewing bubblegum one.
Yeah.
Life's a bitch, and she's back in heat.
Supposedly, Randy the Macho Man Savage said that was his favorite line from the movie.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. Well, I think I'll go with that too, because that line cracked me up big time. Carpenter's got some films that kind of like resonate bigger today than they did back then. Kind of Escape from New York, I think, resonates more now than it did back then, because
I haven't seen that movie seriously since the early '80s. I don't remember too much about it other than he's Snake Plissken with the eye patch. But
1981, and it's kind of funny because New York, the city, is gone to hell in a handbasket. It's full of crime, and people are trying to escape New York. So I think that name is kind of fitting for.
Well, it's the same thing in L.A., right? So Escape from L.A.
Yeah, you're right, dude. The two biggest cities.
I think, in my opinion, though, I think that John Carpenter, it's a mixed bag. You know what I mean? I think he's made a couple of good movies, but most of them are not that great.
Some of them been average, obviously. But
he made a lot of low budge.
Yeah. Halloween is my favorite. Assault on Precinct 13. Have you seen that one?
I have. Yeah.
That was a favorite. The Thing, amazing film.
That's my favorite, John Carpenter. That's my favorite. I just actually watched Halloween 2 days ago, and
the original, or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gearing up for our podcast here in a few weeks.
Okay, cool.
And it's crazy how old that movie is and how young Jamie Lee Curtis was.
Yeah.
But it still gives you the creeps at certain points with that music, I'll tell you.
Well, plus I love the way they filmed that, or John Carpenter filmed that, because one of my quirks, okay, that I have with a lot of the Halloween sequels is that you can see his eyes. And I like the way you never saw his eyes, only glimmers. You did see it in the end when the mask got torn off, whatever. You saw a little bit in the closet, kind of, but mostly it was like black. It was but it wasn't like big eye holes, and that whole William Shatner mask, the original, just fit so well. And I had a problem with the Halloween sequels after that because they kept changing the damn mask.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? That's what they used, a mold from an old Captain Kirk Halloween costume, a kid's Halloween costume for that.
I know.
A lot of people don't know that, and I'm like, I think it's hilarious.
I know it is. I mean, talk about low budget but easy and effective. Look how effective that mask is. Because when you think of like Halloween, you think of the Michael Myers mask. You think of the boogeyman as being a white mask, just kind of glowing out from the darkness. And that's why I liked Halloween so much. It was just kind of like, Jaws, but a serial killer kind of just peering from the shadows. And that's what I just loved about it. And the music fit. It did. It made the whole movie. But I guess we're talking about Halloween now. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening to Retro Media Talk. We're gonna tie this episode up, but we also want to give a shout out to Steve Lago's wife, Lori Lago, which likes every episode, and we appreciate that, Lori. So, if you guys want to be called out, have a shout out or something, put a comment in the description that say you listen to the show, whatever, and we'd love to give you a shout out.
Yeah, I mean, even if if you got a question you want answered,
questions. Yeah, we would love that. Yeah,
it could be about anything.
Yeah, if you got a question, comment, anything that you want us to discuss or anything, just put it in the comments. But go to our Facebook page and put it in the comments there. Just look for Retro Media Talk Facebook page, and then put it in the comments on there.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Thanks for listening to Retro Media Talk. We hope you enjoyed this episode of They Live. Please find us on any of the platforms, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Red Circle,
Tinder.
I love when you say that.
Yeah.
That's great. Match.com. Or just go to retromediatalk.com, find all the links there. And there's a few platforms out there I don't have links on, but you can just Google or whatever search engine you have that you use. Just search retromediatalk.com or Retro Media Talk, and it should pop up a lot of the platforms.
Yeah, and you can also find my handmade doll clothes that I make on Etsy.
And the brand name is what? Nikki?
The Nikki Collection.
Nikki Collection. Yeah, guys, if you want to hear the story of Nikki, just check out the Vintage Technology Part 2 episode. The one before this, it's a funny little tale that Lago shared about a boy named Nicky. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can. I forgot about that line. So my final words are, they live. They live all around us in a world of propaganda, surveillance, and control. You got to be aware, man, of your surroundings. So put the sunglasses on, open your eyes, take the blindfold off, and see a world captured by they live. Always follow the money. And even though we're not captured by aliens that we know of, we are captured by a lot of evil people. Never be afraid to question anything or everything. You're not a conspiracy theorist because you question things. You are a truth seeker. Don't be a sheeple. That is independent thought. So don't let them take your independent thought. Even though I take a multivitamin, I also like to take superfoods. And the best superfood I found on the market that tastes just amazing is Brick House Nutrition Field of Greens. Real organic superfood. One scoop of Field of Greens gives you the full spectrum of colors with fruits, veggies, herbs, spices, and more. Helps with your overall well-being by aiding in antioxidation, lipid metabolism, and glucose metabolism. Since Field of Greens is made from real foods, it's technically not a supplement. This is just pure whole foods, guys, and you can get a discount right now by using coupon code HEALTHYLIFE. Just plug that coupon HEALTHYLIFE before checkout in the coupon section and get our exclusive discount. You have to try Field of Greens from brickhousenutrition.com. Thanks, guys, for checking out our podcast. We really appreciate the support. Again, please subscribe to the channel. Look for us on YouTube under Craze TV with a K. And I also want to just thank Steve Lago for his military service to keep this country safe. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.